game again. He's against Connor Bowman. Obs on aggro V4 color rally. Now this, we talked about this matchup. It was very close before, right? We saw Caleb Shear in the top 8 go to a full 5 games trying to win this matchup. Now we speculated that the addition of Reflector Mage was going to just functionally change this matchup. Instead of it being a coin flip, it suddenly is going to be a matchup for rally. I want to see this play out.
Yep, and here we have an Anafenza in play. So for Tickal, we might be looking at Reflector Mage or CDC's Faithful or Bust.
Yeah, so a quick rundown. Tickal is up a game on 15 life. He has 2 Elvish Visionaries, an Antuco Husk in play, along with a Reflector Mage. He does have double white and all his colors online, so every spell is good to go. On Bowman's side, he's got 6 lands. One of them is a Shambling Vent. Sylvan Advocate, that's now a 4/5. And, as you mentioned, Anafenza the Foremost also looks like Hissing Quagmire.
And that's a 4/4.
That's a 4/4. And it's going to attack along with Sylvan Advocate. Counter is going to go on Quagmire.
And that's a 5/5.
Remember, counter actually can't go on Sylvan Advocate. It's
no.
a combo between the two.
Vigilance does not allow your creature to tap when it attacks.
So what's interesting here is Connor is actually offering up his Anafenza to Tickal here.
He's up to something.
He's up to something. Tickle's going to block. He'll sacrifice an Elvish Visionary to try to make the Husk a 4/4. And here's the murderous cut. It's Bowman's last card.
Yeah.
So
if you're Tickal, you had to know that something was up. But what can you do against Murderous Cut? 9
damage. Casey didn't realize from last match, Obzon hits real hard.
Yeah.
They outlast in a big way. Tickal has Rally the Ancestors in hand, but his cards have all been hitting exile because of Anafenza the Foremost. Just Rally and land in hand. I don't know the entirety of his graveyard, but it would have to be something good for him to be able to get out of this.
Absolutely. I know for sure there's a Flooded Strand, and I know that does nothing with Rally the Ancestors.
Well, if he has some Reflector Mages, there's a Husk, it looks like, in the... no, that's an exile.
That's the exile.
Yep. That's unfortunate.
Yeah, that's less good.
Less good here. 6/6 Quagmire. 4/4 Anafenza. 4/5 Advocate. Visionary is going to jump in front of the Quagmire. It's 8 coming across. Tickal would go to 2. He'll fetch down to 1. And what is the Rally Specialist up to here? I always think that's interesting when we have someone kind of make a name for themselves as a one-deck pilot. Remember this with Caleb Shear, Joe Lissette. They're so impressive at their one deck. Eventually you kind of wonder what would happen if you got them into a mixed format tournament. Would they be able to hang with it?
Well, Joe Lissette at this point is actually a multiple one-deck pilot.
Well, yeah, I mean, so Joe Lissette's always been that way. Last season, he was only heroic all year. This season, it is only 5-color Bring to Light. I like that because it's actually his brew.
And in Legacy, it's only Miracles.
Only Miracles. He dabbled at the 2014 Players' Championship he tried to switch his deck.
And for that tournament, it was only Reanimator.
Yeah, he switched, and, it didn't pay off. I think he said it wasn't. And then he went back to Miracles this year in 2015 and had a perfect undefeated record in Legacy, and it came back away saying, I think I was stupid the previous year. I should just play the deck that I know that is good. Yeah, the 2 players to 3-0 in Legacy were Joe Lissette and Caleb Shear at the Players' Championship.
Yep.
Big surprise. Everyone in the room knew what they were going to play. Didn't matter.
Yep. If you're that good.
Yeah, I mean, I got that. I got that bunch of people said, "Oh, you're gonna play Bloom at this next Modern tournament." And I just kind of look at you and be like, "Yeah." Like, well, but what if people know? Aren't they gonna show up with hate? It'd be like, probably.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm going to beat them anyway.
I'm gonna play it really well, and that's probably better than switching to any other deck.
Your opponent also might get a false sense of confidence. What if you have this sideboard plan, you think, I'm going to play this because Joe lost it on Miracles, and this is my sideboard plan, and Joe's just one step ahead of you. He knows what people want to do to beat Miracles. I
remember PTQing the year that Blue-White Revelation was around, and there was some small crew, there's the same crew that was PTQing. So I think it got to a point that they knew most of our team was on Blue-White Revelation. So there are these guys from one of the other teams, they started all playing Blue-White-Red Revelation with 4 counterfluxes, and they're like, I got him, right? This is excellent. And I remember playing them and just winning anyway, because I was like, well, what actually matters more is practice with this deck. It matters so much that even if you upgrade, there's a certain amount of metagaming that I can take and still have a good matchup. I mean, if you want to go all the way down the path of, maybe main decking Memoricides or something or whatnot, okay, then you get to beat me, right? Okay, now we have problems.
That's actually
games.
That's actually the entire story of my time playing Temur, Delver, and Legacy. People play these decks that are supposed to be great against you, and it's just like, well, I'll force will that first challenge. I'll cast a Tarmogoyf, Trinisphere resolves, I'll attack you 5 times, game 2.
There's a certain point that they go far enough down the path, they get to have their wins, But sometimes it's farther than playing with someone who's practiced at their deck. You have to go to bigger lengths than you might think.
Yeah, absolutely.
Game 3 underway. Connor Bowman has evened things up at 1 game apiece. Tickal starts on a fetch for Smoldering Marsh. Bowman, good start. It is Warden of the First Tree. Now, pre-Reflector Mage, we have seen the curves of Warden, Pump, Anafenza, Rhino as actually fast enough to just run over the rally deck.
A lot less good now.
Just takes 1 Reflector Mage to... Boy, just take the wind out of those sails.
Really gums up the works.
Tickle something like Visionary, Reflector Mage, bounce your Warden.
That's what you call a good curve.
Ugh. Palace Familiar. Tickle not playing any of those. That's expected.
Is this just land go? I don't know what that hand gesture was. Maybe he is still doing stuff on his turn.
No, yep, it was. I think he fetched. He declared the name of the fetch land he was getting and then passed the turn. 14:30 left in the round. These players are conscious of that.
Absolutely.
Prairie Stream. So Tickle now has red, black, white, blue. So he's got he's got everything but the first green and the second white accounted for.
Yep.
For Bowman, a swing for 1 and a Sylvan Advocate.
There's a Basic Plains and a Canopy Vista in Tickle's hand, so he's not super far off.
Now you should watch out on Bowman's side. It's double forest. Now, that's going to matter because it means there's no turn 3 Anafenza happening.
Right. You have to imagine that there's a third land, but no land would make Anafenza possible.
Yeah, I mean, the possibility of him having a battle land, a Canopy Vista seems pretty likely.
Mm-hmm.
And here's the All-Star, or what we presume is the All-Star in the matchup. It's Reflector Mage.
Yeah, and Tickle operating under the knowledge that Anafenza can't happen next turn anyway. This is a very strong play.
It's going to bounce the Warden of the First Tree. A draw. Is there a land for Bowman? Yes, it's Smoldering Marsh. That's... Yeah, you can't actually play that again.
No
Reflector Mage is not just a mana war. Better than that. Connor does get to untap his land. You don't lose the mana for that happening.
Right.
You get a warning, and you pick up the card.
Yeah, we're a little friendlier than that. More civil, I suppose.
Face down Den Protector is the play for Bowman, though. So not that big of a penalty for him, actually.
Yeah. Yeah, Tickle doesn't really have a way to expressly just deal with that Den Protector before it flips up.
Yeah, one of the interesting parts of this matchup, actually, is that Den Protector is not actually as much of a card advantage card in this matchup as it's an excellent attacker. So 4-color Rally clogs up the ground. I would expect Sylvan Advocate to never really get in for damage here, but the fact that Den Protector, when it flips up, suddenly can evade past this board of 1-3, 2-3s, 1-1s, that adds up.
Yeah, evasion's huge. And we're actually seeing Tickle just keep the Executioner in play, and you have to wonder if some of that might just be because it can block Den Protector.
Heads up play by Tickle. Here's the Anafenza, though, from Bowman. And Warden of the First Tree, he'll pass. Tickle has, it's a Delve card. It's either a Tasigur or a Murderous Cut. I believe it's Murderous Cut. So he does have the answer to Anafenza, but Den Protector makes that tougher.
Yes.
There's a possibility that if he kills Anafenza this turn, Connor will recast it immediately the next turn.
Looks like Tickle's weighing the possibility of casting Elvish Visionary Jace or just Collected Company.
So if you Elvish Visionary Jace, the idea here is that he's going to try to build up a board and then start end step killing Anafenza or something like that.
Oh, and it was actually Murderous Cut as the follow-up. On the Den Protector,
On the Den Protector. Well, I assume if you're going to have to double kill spell your way through Anafenza, this is the more efficient way to do it.
Yeah.
That way Connor doesn't get a 3-2. So we go back over to Connor.
And on this board, if Connor has a removal spell, he has to telegraph it by attacking with Anafenza. There's no way that you're making that bluff attack. That card is too important.
But there is an Obzon Charm in Connor's hand, and this could get ugly. Obzon, we said, it hits hard. So 4/4 and 2/2 swinging. On board, Connor can make the Warden into a 4/4. If Tickle's going to block here, this Abzan Charm is going to destroy him.
Yeah, I mean, it's a lot of damage, but I don't like this block at all.
Because you're dead to the trick.
Yep.
And I don't think... I agree. I don't like that block. So to make that block, you have to think that your opponent is just doing nothing.
Yeah. Hey, maybe you think it's an attack because of a second Anafenza?
Jace and Eiley are the plays. So the record, there are no 1/1 counters. I think a misstep by Connor there. He used the Abzan Charm to exile Merciless Executioner. Not really necessary. I mean, he's losing damage there, to be sure. I don't think he's going to get punished for it.
No. And he walked into a Death Touch creature with it anyway.
Because he's...
Yep.
Here we go. Here's another Anafenza. I think ideally he would have played 1/1 and split the counters, so he missed 2 points.
Yeah. Minor but relevant. The creature was getting exiled on the block anyway.
Yeah. Go back over to Matthew Tickal. There is still an Anafenza in play. So his graveyard empty. You see him discarding copy of Rally of the Ancestors. His hand looks to be 2 Jaces and Nantuko Husk and a Collected Company.
Yeah, at this point, there's no avenue to just cast 2 spells, so the company seems like a no-brainer.
He's going to main phase it, seeing if he can maybe get a Visionary or an Executioner. He gets Nantuko Husk, and it looks like Grim Haruspex. Another card turned off. Another card turned off by Anafenza.
Yeah, this is not bad, but not great. The Husk represents the ability to trade with the Anafenza, but the Haruspex can't draw cards here.
Warden up to a 4/4. Now keep in mind that Warden's first ability has not been activated yet.
Yeah, it's just huge naturally.
It's that Anafenza. Just been doing some work, just building them on up.
Yeah, so when this activates, we're going to be looking at a 6/6.
Yeah, we're not that far from even being a 6/6 trample. This is no good. Tickle will block, pump the Nantuko Husk up to a 4/4. He offers the trade.
Okay, well, we got the Anafenza off the table, but not for long.
Not for long. Here's a Den Protector. Waiting in Connor's hand looks to be Siege Rhino.
Is that
this
card
is
good?
Ugly, yeah. I mean, is it ever not good?
Hard to say. Probably not.
Are there any the card's floor is really high.
It's got a high floor.
No one ever says, man, this is a crappy matchup for Siege Rhino.
Siege Rhino lives on the second story.
That's a really bad logistic idea to have him live there.
Yeah, he's huge.
I'm calling the building manager.
Yeah, that will not last.
Whoever owns the apartment below Siege Rhino is really unhappy about that.
they got to move out.
A loot from Jace will put another Jace into the graveyard. That's the 5th one, so it'll flip. There's a Collected Company in the yard. Let's see if Tickle goes for that one. So there's a danger here, though. Connor has the play of end step, pump Warden, and then the second ability gives it lifelink and the relevantly trample. So if Tickle's going to try to chump block past that, this seems very difficult for him.
Yep. Still at 11, but even still.
Oh, wow. Elvish Visionary is the play. Followed by Nantuko Husk. And I don't know, Tickle has great flashback options, but he's going to go ahead and plus targeting Den Protector. Den Protector will get back Anafenza.
And that shrinking a Den Protector will enable him to block it on the following turn.
Sure. Still can't block Warden.
Yeah, and shrinking the Warden wouldn't really do too much here.
It would make it into a potential 4/6, which is still a creature Tickle can't block.
Yeah.
Connor's saying, yeah, still have it.
What card did I get back? Oh, I got this great one that you can't beat in play.
This one, that's supposed to be good here. Talked about how we thought this matchup had gone in Rally's favor. I'm having second thoughts. You count Abzan down, and then it starts doing this, and you remember, yeah, this deck's really good.
How good can you really be against Abzan?
Maybe it's so frustrating. Here comes Warden. It is currently a 4/4. You see Bowman playing the Anafenza pre-combat just in case Tickal wants to block. Nothing allowed in the graveyard. It's all going to have to go to exile.
Yeah. The more creatures that are building up on Connor's side and the more creatures exiled on Tickal's side, this game is slipping away at a very fast pace.
Pump. Warden now a 6/6. And you look at Connor just ignoring, I believe, the Jace.
Yeah, that guy's fine. You can have him. What are you going to do, Flashback Collected Company? I will continue to kill you on board.
There is still a Murderous Cut, I believe, at the bottom, just under that rally, but you're right. I don't really care if I'm in Tickal's spot. He fetches down to 4. I think that's what he's going to have to do.
The Murderous Cut?
Well, some combination. I mean, he can cut and use that Fleshbag Marauder in his hand. Now, the difficulty is that we don't just have to care about Anafenza anymore. The fact that this Warden is going to start to go ultimate, that's a real concern.
You're saying that the Warden of the first tree will ignite its spark and then go ultimate?
Spark and go ultimate.
That is a very real threat. That card is already substantially large, and it's going to get substantially larger.
It's currently that 1 means the first ability has been activated. So it's a human warrior. He has learned the way of the warrior. He might become a spirit warrior. And the thing about spirit warriors is that they can train without bound. Once you become immortal, once you become a spirit, then there's no limit to how much you can train.
You got nothing but time. Don't even have to eat.
No.
You just get to train.
Just get to train.
Just get to train.
Here's the Murderous Cut. Cut took down Anafenza. I mean, he's got to play this Fleshbag Marauder. I don't see options on Tickal's side. Well, he's going to play another Jace and pass.
Yeah, it'll get in the way. Tickal's not, well, no, he is. Is he dead or not?
Well, Connor can put him to 1 right now. If Connor just swings the team and tramples the Warden, Tickal is forced to put all 6 power in front of the Warden. So that's Nantuko Husk sacking both creatures. And then he'll take 3 from the Den Protector and go to 1. And I think with this attack, the problem is if Tickal does anything different, he's dead. The only way he can block Den Protector is by putting Husk in front of it and sacking a creature before it blocks. If he does that, the most toughness he could put in front of Warden is 2.
Which is not enough.
Not enough because of Warden's trample. So Tickal's only block is everybody in front of Warden. And if he makes another block, he's dead. And this is a dead on board block.
Yeah, I am not in love with the dead on board decision.
Well, I mean, he's forcing Connor to play around Murderous Cut to respect it.
It's true.
Connor's not going to respect it. He'll give it trample, and that's lethal.
No reason to.
Does he have the cut?
Looked like a Fleshbag Marauder to me.
It was a black card. I believe it's Fleshbag. We'll confirm life totals here. The chuck of the pen suggests that he missed it.
People don't usually do that when they're happy.
Okay, so that one will go in 3 to Connor Bowman. The explanation, I believe that Tickal had the wrong life total written down. Been in this situation before. It's a frustrating loss. Unfortunately, if you have the wrong life total and you know you have the wrong life, that is... Unfortunately, you don't get to gain life just by having the wrong life total, and the fix is...
And this is actually a reason that communication in game with your opponent is very important. Every time either player's life totals change, I make a point of confirming that to my opponent. You know, that way they're on the hook too.
So I have a painful story about this one. So I was